Surpass their guarantee expectations. Everybody remembers the cheesy 100% satisfaction guarantee that old television infomercials would haul out to get people to believe in their products. Well, consumers are much more savvy now, and most people understand this to be more of a trial guarantee that after a certain period expires. In other words, the 100% satisfaction guarantee was usually limited to a few weeks or less, and after that you were stuck with the product. So, in all fairness, it was more like a free trial than a 100% satisfaction guarantee. After all, if you're not satisfied and the period for returns has ended, aren't you then still a dissatisfied customer? So in this chapter, we're going to tell you how to put in place something that goes beyond the 100% satisfaction guarantee, even though it may seem impossible. Well, it isn't. It is your conviction that the products you offer are of such worth that you can offer a guarantee that goes beyond everyone's expectations and still make money on the product. And when you have that sort of conviction about the products you sell, the customer begins to believe it too. The technique. The strategy on the surface seems a bit crazy for a business person to implement. What you will suggest to your customers is that if a certain condition is met, that you will refund their money or make amends beyond what is expected of you. That means that if you sell a product and it breaks, you promise to refund the money or replace it, even if it's 1 year or 2 years down the line. But it doesn't just have to be about things breaking. It can also be a usage condition. Say you buy a subscription to use a particular service and then find out you don't use it enough to pay for the membership costs. In this strategy, the way to go beyond the 100% satisfaction guarantee is to offer to refund all the money for the subscription if you don't use the products and services offered by the membership at all within the year. Of course, you would have to have a way of figuring that out. In a discount club, you have membership costs that give you access to discounts on other products. The idea is that the amount of money you save will easily exceed the membership cost to sign up, and you eventually make back your membership fee. But what if you didn't do that? Would most companies offer you the membership fee back if you found that the use of the club wasn't worth it? Well, if your membership club did this, it would sell itself above the rest by offering to ensure that whether a member uses the membership they bought or not, they will end up satisfied with the purchase because you will make sure you go beyond the typical business guarantee. Now, add a little perk at the end like a free gift or even a coupon for monies off popular items for having just tried the membership, even if it didn't end up saving you money, and people will flock to sign up. The secret. There are lots of people who offer guarantees, but they are only worth the person issuing them. Many times there are clauses in the guarantee that limit the actual worth, such as a specified limited time period or meeting a specific condition that is unlikely to happen. For instance, most cars these days are sold with 6-year or 50,000-mile warranties. That's a guarantee that should your car fail before then, it will be replaced for free, right? Wrong. If you look at the fine print, it says they will pay you for the repairs if the problem is a defect in the workmanship, not for any unforeseen event that might cause your car to break down. Your car could overheat while climbing a hill or rainwater could flood the engine. Even if some part of your car breaks due to poor workmanship, it's still up to you to prove that's the case, instead of it being because of some environmental danger that was present. It's just not very likely you'll ever use a warranty these days for cars on a manufacturer defect because most cars are made pretty well these days, no matter what they cost. However, certain cars are sold based on these guarantees as if the extra money you pay for a really good car with an excellent warranty is going to give you additional customer satisfaction and security. It really isn't. It's the 100% money-back guarantee that really isn't about satisfaction as much as it is about clever marketing, and people realize that. However, when people are willing to put their money where their mouth is and put it in writing, that is a very impressive act that creates instant credibility. That means that you will replace or make good on any product regardless of the reason, no matter what happened or how long it took it to occur. Isn't that positively crazy these days? Maybe so, but it also means that you believe above 100% in your company and in its ability to meet the customer's needs. You are betting that your product is so good that people won't need to return it, And that's what you're saying with the Beyond 100% Satisfaction Guarantee. The person viewing the ad thinks that you are either crazy to make such a good offer or your product is really all you say it is. Otherwise, how could you afford to make this type of guarantee? It raises the perceived value of your product or service and instills confidence in the purchase decision. People know that when they see that over 100% satisfaction guarantee that the likelihood of being taken is very small, and that triggers their confidence in making the purchase. Because you believe in your products, they fall in line and believe in them too. It removes any remaining doubts or resistance to buying the product that a customer might hold in their minds. How to make it work. Implementing this strategy is very easy. It just takes guts. After all, you are basically saying you are willing to show customers that you mean business and that your word can be trusted. If you issue a claim that goes beyond the 100% satisfaction guarantee, you had better be able to back it with action. If you issue it and then go back on your word, you will have a publicity nightmare on your hands and the backlash will be tremendous. So whatever you promise, be sure you can deliver it and then stick to your word. This strategy shouldn't be implemented as standalone strategy. It should always be used as an additional boost to get the customer over the sales finish line. It might be well used for products where there might be some doubts lingering in the minds of the buyer, either because of the price or the novelty. Maybe you are selling a new technology that is designed to do something really novel, but people don't know how helpful it's really going to be. They may read the benefits and even be considering it, but the product still needs an additional push to make the customer decide to shell out big bucks to try it. Then you would trot out the Beyond 100% Satisfaction Guarantee, and now those people on the fence will rush to buy. If you think that you will end up losing too much money refunding purchases or replacing products, you are not realizing that most buyers have short memories. Maybe they buy that high-tech air cleaning and filtering system from your store only because they're told if it ever breaks they can return it for a free replacement. But odds are when it does break, they won't even remember what store they bought it from, much less that you offered them that guarantee. If they do remember, they might think they need the box or the receipt in order to take advantage of the guarantee, and that might or might not be the case. And then after that, they have to motivate themselves to get back to your store and try to take you up on that Beyond 100% guarantee with the product in hand. Most people will simply go out and buy something to replace the broken product and not even think about your offer again. It's a sad statement on the American consumer's mind, but most people are not as frugal or careful with their purchases to document the guarantees and keep track of them. It may be a real factor when they are trying to make the decision to buy, but after that it's mostly forgotten unless that guarantee is such a classic aspect of your marketing that you make it over and over again to multiple customers. Then you will find that people begin to associate that product or your company with that guarantee and they will take you up on it more, but still not at a high rate. Let's be clear, you aren't just going to offer a good guarantee, you are offering an unbelievable guarantee. It's so good people will think you're nuts for offering it. They may just buy the product to try and prove you wrong. If you are selling subscriptions to a discount club, they might be so intrigued by your offer and knowing they have nothing to lose, and even maybe something to gain, they will put their money down and see if you are right. The unbelievable part should come when you not only offer to keep them from losing money on the deal, but also add some incentive to sweeten the deal should the product not meet their expectations. So, for a subscription to a discount club, you offer to give them a free gift at the end of the year and their money back just for trying the membership, if they find they don't make up all the money in discounts throughout the year that they paid in the membership fee. What this tells people is that you believe that everyone will save money using your discount club because you're just that fantastic. You're so convinced that's the case that you're even willing to pay people to try your club out and offer them a free gift should that not occur as you expect. To figure out which offers need this additional strategy, you should look at your sales numbers. Are some offers languishing while others are going gangbusters? Don't fix what's broken. Instead, opt for the slow movers to try this strategy as an additional incentive to move those offers into better performance. This is definitely a trial and error business when deciding which offers need it and which don't. If you find that after implementing the Beyond 100% Satisfaction Guarantee your sales jump 200%, then you know that you've got it in the right place. That's the power this strategy has when you use it with offers that may just need that extra boost to get them to go from underperformers to star sellers. Since this is not a standalone strategy, you want to choose other strategies to pull out first. Then, after you have made the case for your product through selling the benefits, and you notice that you still have the customer teetering on the seat of their chairs biting their nails over the decision, then try the Beyond 100% Satisfaction Guarantee at the very end of the copy. That's right. We want it at the very end of all the selling copy. You may think that's the worst place for it, but it's really the only place for it. That's because if a person has gotten that far down the sales page and still hasn't made up their mind, then you need to add something to push them over the edge. If you did it earlier, you would not have a chance to implement the other strategies that can help you make the sale instantly. This one works best when there is still some doubt left in the mind of the potential buyer that needs to be removed, and therefore it goes last. Take pride in your authority. People love to deal with experts. Experts can be trusted. Experts are in the know. And when we deal with experts, we feel smart for being able to spot them. So when you want people to automatically give you more credibility and authority to encourage them to do business with you more, flaunt your expertise. That's right. No one else is going to do it for you, and this is something that is not only all right on the internet, but it is easily done. It's called self-promotion, and the internet makes it a very easy thing to do online. If you want people to recognize you for your expertise, you will want to concentrate on your area of expertise and then show off what you know. It's that simple. The technique. There is a fine line between coming off as an expert and being a pretentious imposter or know-it-all. If you really don't know what you're talking about, that is going to come across sooner or later. So you do want to know your marketing niche extremely well. You should do enough research so that you can even anticipate your customers' concerns and have solutions ready for them when they come up. You will want to be the person who not only knows your market, but the desires of your customers too. Then, you will want to visit places that can allow you to show off that knowledge without seeming pretentious or an attention hog. Least of all, you don't want to visit just to spam a group with your expertise when it's not even related to the discussion. You should pick the venues that you will be using to show off your expertise very carefully. They should include forums, discussion groups, blogs, your website, and sales pages that allow you to add information that gathers attention and solves a problem without it appearing to be a direct solicitation. This means that you will need to spend some time creating your online image as the expert in residence. You will have to write articles, author ebooks, write in other people's blogs, do guest posts, frequent discussion groups, enter topics into forums, and more. It's not easy being an expert, but it's well worth it. Some people build their image as an expert by collecting titles or degrees. That's perfectly legitimate. If you have a PhD, flaunt it. Put the initials after your name in all your email correspondence and on your website too. There's nothing wrong with having extra initials after your name, and you'd be surprised the air of credibility and authority that this gives you. Use any advantage you have to express your authority on a subject. If you are selling video games, you don't want images on your website that show people incorrectly using game consoles. If you are trying to sell beach supplies, you don't want people on the site photographed in suits and ties. This type of subtle visual statement leads people to question your expertise, not because you yourself are portrayed less professionally, but because you don't associate with people who have authority. People with power generally congregate with other people with power. If you show up with less than ideal business partners or affiliates, your expertise and authority are questioned, not to mention your judgment. The secret. Since we were children, we have been taught to respect authority. We idolized our parents for knowing more than we did, and we trusted them to guide us to make the right decisions in life. Later in school, we are put into an educational system that grades us based on our knowledge of the course material, with the teachers being the ultimate symbol of someone with the most expertise in a subject. They were the ones we were supposed to respect and listen to. After we started work, the same rules apply. Those people who know the system or the game of politics, the experts in the company who deal with the other experts, are the ones that demand our respect and obedience. Through them, we gain our promotions and get the good things in life. This habit of obedience to authority and recognition of experts as the final say in life never really goes away. It's been impressed upon us since early childhood, and in many cases, a trusted expert becomes the reflection of a trusted parent. We are more inclined to listen to these experts, even feeling a sense of gratitude that there is someone to listen who can guide us in the proper choices to make. It makes our lives easier, and it becomes a subconscious desire to follow authority, just as we've been programmed to do. It is so ingrained that some people never question an expert, even if it appears that they may not be all that trustworthy. They are so accustomed to having someone tell them what to do, they actually can feel very reassured by just having someone willing to take up the mantle of authority for them. Since marketers know that showing your expertise is a great way to make a sale, there is plenty of competition from people trying to sell themselves as experts. It's up to you to differentiate your own knowledge, image, and authority from everyone else so that people are more likely to come to you than the next guy. How to make it work. To become an expert on the web is easy. All you have to do is make sure people know your qualifications and be careful to always project the image of an expert everywhere you go. Unlike a job interview that requires someone who you worked with to offer a reference, you can be your own reference on the web. For that, you want to take the time to develop this strategy everywhere, not just for yourself, but your company image too. As we mentioned earlier, you will want to mine your personal experience and express that whenever appropriate. If you have a master's or a PhD, be sure to use those initials after your name when you email, when you add a post to a discussion group or forum, or even when you comment on a blog. It's a very simple matter, and it adds loads of authority to your current image. When people see those initials, they will be triggered to defer to you automatically. So be sure to put all initials that represent some degree of expertise next to your name. If you are doing this for your website or business image, you want to capture your expertise in a single phrase that represents why people should do business with you. This can be like voted best value for the money by Consumer Magazine. Of course, only add that if it's true. You don't want to be caught echoing some claim that later points out that you clearly don't have any expertise and are a liar to boot. So be genuine, but also be sure to take pride in your accomplishments. If you don't have any recognition from others that you can point to, you can still raise the audience's awareness of what makes your business special. Maybe you are the biggest distributor on the East Coast for your particular item. Maybe you make the most unique ukuleles in Hawaii. Maybe you are the oldest company on record for the business. Believe it or not, people hold a great deal of respect for businesses that can say they've been around for decades. Imagine if you could say that about your online business, where most have a habit of disappearing overnight. It creates the image of tremendous stability and also expertise in your area of commerce. If you still can't think of anything, start by telling your audience why you think your business or staff is special. Maybe you think you have the best group of positive thinkers on staff who find ways to make everyone's day brighter. Maybe you sell environmentally friendly products, and for each sale you donate to a green cause. This can make people think that you know about the issues important to them, and they can trust you as an expert because you walk your talk. So ask yourself a few questions to help you establish what makes you or your business experts on your market niche. What credentials do I have to prove our expertise? Are my workers specially trained or gifted? How many years have you been in business? What is your satisfaction rating for customers? What separates your knowledge from your competitors? What image should you be portraying to be considered an expert? Am I or my company certified by any outside agencies? Who else thinks you or your business is expert in your market niche? What do I know that no one else knows? Once you have the answer to those questions, you can write up articles and feed them to article directories. At the end, in your author's bio box, you can add information on who you are and your status as an expert. Either submit the articles to directories yourself or hire a company to do it for you. These article directories will show up in search engines when someone searches for your company name or your own name. If you have multiple different articles out there under different categories, the search results on a search engine will bring up so many results that you look like an instant expert. That's one way to get your name out there as an expert fairly quickly. Another way is to visit forums and discussion groups that are within your target niche. Add to the discussions when you can show off your knowledge and increase your exposure online. If you keep coming back and doing this, at least that audience will begin to equate your name or your company's name as experts in a particular field. And that also will show up in search results from a search engine. Writing a book and putting it up on Amazon or some other large distributor will also qualify you as an expert. It used to be that you had to find a publisher to publish your book to really be perceived a formally approved expert. That's not the case anymore. Anyone can self-publish a book and then submit it to online retailers for sale. You can even do an ebook format and offer it for free in various places and build your reputation that way too. Just make sure your books contain references to your website, your products, and your own credentials. Finally, you can ask to do guest posts to other people's websites or solicit testimonials for your own website and products. Guest posts on big blogs are particularly effective because it builds traffic as well as allows you to target your particular niche and convert it to sales. And major bloggers are always looking for guest posters from noted experts so that they can take a break every now and then from posting. If you are on Facebook, the number and quality of friends and social network that you can build can add to your reputation as an expert. If you have a network of 300 people who are all big names in your industry, that automatically qualifies you as a big name too. It's authority and expertise solely by association. The time to self-promote is always. It can't be said enough. You might get tired of constantly reiterating the same catchphrases that note your expertise, but you don't know what new prospects are coming in that will need that reassurance. You want to do it when you are at other people's sites, when you are not selling but rather building a marketing presence online, and when you are selling too. Almost every interaction you have should echo your expertise so as to trigger that deep-seated desire to obey the call to action later. You don't want to come off as demanding, but simply showing you know your stuff and that they can have a quiet confidence in your history, knowledge, or products can be a great way to trigger the desire to buy. Prove the product is worthy. In online marketing, you want to get rid of any fears the buyer may have over purchasing your products or services. People have a big fear of being taken advantage of or buying something that later makes them feel like a fool for being duped into the purchase. There are other people who are always looking for a good deal and demand that they get a high return on their financial investment, no matter what they're buying. Since you are dealing with consumers who are internet savvy, you know that they will be able to compare your products or services easily simply by browsing other companies online or doing a quick search through Google. So you will have to beat them to that and provide whatever comparisons they need to prove your product's true worth. It's far better for you to do it and limit and frame the results of your research to make your product appear favorably than it is for them to do it and figure out that there is at least one product out there that is a better deal for them or has some feature they like better. This is particularly important if your product has no brand name. Maybe you are selling your own line of products and competing against much better known brands. If you cannot prove your product's true worth in a relatively short amount of time, there's no reason for a sales prospect to even consider buying your product. The fear of being taken will override the possibility of getting a good deal. So again, you have to make sure they know they are getting just as good a value as the name brands you are competing against, or maybe even a better value. The technique. When you are targeting value as your main selling point, you want to be able to educate your potential buyer not just about your products, but about the overall market offerings too. So that means you have to do a little more research than just being aware of your own value as compared to other products in your own inventory. Instead, you want to be aware of the product's value when compared to the rest of the market that the sales prospect will eventually want to view. There are two factors involved here: quality versus price. Price is often not the determining factor for buying a product unless that product is being compared to the same product somewhere else for a lower price. So if you have a top-selling product available in your inventory, price will determine how good a value someone perceives it to be. Now, however, if you are working with a range of products and not a specific brand, then you want to concentrate on quality more than price. The more features, the higher the quality, than the competition, and the product becomes a better value, regardless of the price. This may seem odd, but that's because the actual intrinsic value of the product is more when compared to the rest of the other products on the market. The secret. When people see you comparing your own products and are educated about the product's intrinsic value, they equate a better value with a lower price, even if your price is actually much higher than your competition. In other words, it's like a unit price at the grocery store. When people go to compare two different cans of peaches at the store, they look at all the canned peaches and decide which they want to buy. If they are focused solely on price, they will look for the generic brands and not even bother looking at the different types of peach syrups or even the weight by can. Instead, they will gravitate to cheaper brands because that's what they're looking for to start, a deal on the price. Value is not a consideration until after that, when they will look at the unit price for that brand to determine which can actually is the better deal by weight. That's when price is a consideration for value only. However, most people don't buy items this way. They want to go and shop and come home with something they are proud of and feel they got a good deal on too. For that, they would be the buyer that goes to the grocery store and looks at all the canned peaches. They look at the labels and they admire the different ways the peaches are sliced or diced. They look at the types of syrups, light or heavy. They look to see if any are special peaches for some reason. So what they are comparing is the value based on the characteristics and features of each brand. Then when they find a couple of brands they like, they start to look at unit prices. In their mind, the fact that the value is so much higher in one brand than another automatically reduces the expense of them, and that's the first priority. After that, price may be a consideration, but let's face it, they will be higher than the generic prices. It's just that the cheaper peaches are simply not worth their money in their perception. So when you are going to show your product's intrinsic value, it's important to highlight the features that make it special. If you are comparing it to name brands, you have to show why your product is a better value, not based solely on price, but on the features that it offers or the quality of the product. Otherwise, very few people are willing to spend their money on cheap products just to save a few bucks. They know that after a bit of time, the cheap products break and they will just have to go out and get a new product much more quickly. How to make it work. This is probably the most complicated strategy to implement. It requires you to take the time to educate your sales prospect in a way that they find informative and enlightening instead of boring. You can do this quickly with a table of comparison with check marks for features, and that tool works very well here. However, what happens when you have features that your customer won't even understand? That's truly the case when you are dealing with technical equipment, and people really don't care whether one processor is really better than another. That's when you also have to educate them on why they want that feature too. That's why you will want to be a little more descriptive here than normal. It can be a bit of a drain for people coming to your site to find a long list of features, but it will be necessary to educate the buyer. You can have the short summary in a table and then a bulleted list underneath to indicate what each feature is all about. That way, when someone comes to your website who is knowledgeable on your products, they won't bother to read the bulleted list. The table of comparison is sufficient. Those that don't have the same background will read the list and be impressed that you took the time to educate them on the features and why they are important to them. It shows that you care enough to make them informed consumers. Another way you can implement this strategy is to have a short story that talks about why the features on your products are a good value. Maybe you are selling purses and your purses are leather and not synthetic. Maybe they have features like a cell phone compartment, an accompanying wallet that matches, and the potential to add your personalized monograph too. When you compare your purse to other purses, you will want to show that the reason these things are important is because they serve a function. They help you to express your identity, and they are durable, valuable, or aesthetically pleasing, even more so than your competitors' purses. You can even bring up the product's price and compare that to show that even though your products cost more, they are a better value. Or you can show that your products cost less and deliver the same or better value. People still want to know that they are saving money, whether it is through quality or price value. One way to help you get higher sales is to offer the cheaper product first. The way this works is that people will be so excited by the low price on the cheaper product that when you bring out the higher priced version of that product, they will transfer their excitement to the new product and equate it as a better value. Most of the time, when they hear about all the additional features they get for just X amount of dollars more, they will jump at the chance of getting an even bigger value than they thought they were getting with the cheaper version. This strategy of offering several versions works well when you are comparing items too. You don't want to compare apples to oranges, so several different versions of the same product in your inventory greatly increase your potential for making a sale. After all, you are giving the customer a choice. It just so happens the choice is still going to mean a sale for you. So it doesn't matter how you compare them or what features they have. The fact that they are able to figure out for themselves whether it really is price or intrinsic value that will motivate them to buy helps you to make the sale. This strategy can be turned on its head to still offer a sales opportunity, particularly if you are selling memberships or fundraising for an online charity. In that case, you would not offer the cheapest alternative first. You would show them the most expensive option first. When people balk at that, you would then offer the cheaper alternative. The reason for that is they are not so much comparing products, but services or donations. When they buy, they're not going to get anything placed in their hands unless, of course, you want that as an option for the higher-priced memberships. If you are selling packages, like trips to other countries that include hotel, airfare, and sightseeing, you should start with the highest-priced package first. Packages include many different benefits and will automatically be perceived to have a higher value than a single item, so you don't want to start with the cheaper package in this instance. Then you can offer the cheaper products as an alternative if the higher-priced package is rejected. So when you are considering implementing this strategy, think about the order you want to present your products online. Do you want to highlight the higher-priced item first and then offer the lower one, or vice versa? You could try it both ways and then see when you make more sales. That's the answer to your problem then. But be aware that the order of product presentation will influence people on subconscious levels in the area of proving your product's value. This strategy can be done when people are browsing your product inventories. When they search your site for that particular product, make sure the other products in that inventory show up too. Depending on what they are looking for, you can manipulate the order of display to influence them to perceive a higher value. If you are competing against brand names and using your own generic products, be sure to include that information on your sales page so people know your products are worth it. If you are writing copy ads that are going in printed material, you can compare your products quickly and then put a link to your site where you sell the product. You can also educate your customer on getting a better value just before they check out. It's like when you go to a fast food place and you order a single item. That's the time when you're told that if you buy a combo package, you get a better value. And most people then buy the combo, whether they actually were that hungry or not. The same can be done online by saying on the checkout, "Did you know that for X amount more, you could get such and such?" If you have that placed as standard programming in your website, then it will come up and alert the customer that there is a potential for a better value deal and usually bigger bucks for you. Final thoughts. As you can see from these 10 strategies, there are ways to influence a customer who is visiting your site to cause them to buy your products. However, you have to understand your audience, your product's benefits, and the correct timing as to when to try each strategy. Once you start to implement some of these strategies on your site, you will see that some work better than others on particular products or at different times. If you pay attention to when you go shopping, you can see instances of each of these strategies at work in your own buying behavior. And many retailers do train their staff to trigger buying behavior by evaluating the consumer's needs and choosing to interact at particular times with particular phrases that trigger the subconscious to buy. It's really not magic, but it can seem to be at times. People go about their days mostly unconscious of their own motivations, and in sales, this can be a big advantage. They may all come from different backgrounds, but still some behaviors like respect for authority, the desire to play with things, and the desire to bond through stories have their start in childhood programming. These daily habits become so powerful that as adults, we don't even think about why we respect experts, what makes something more fascinating than something else, and why everyone loves a good joke. Yet this is all part and parcel of being human. Once you begin to understand your own triggers and why you do certain things, it becomes easier to predict what will trigger other people to close a deal or not. They are no different from you and they will follow their better instincts too. So learn the psychology, seek to understand the dynamics of human behavior, and then try to find ways to influence people to increase your sales. That's how you turn a visitor on your site into a customer and build lifelong relationships. As you get the hang of using all the tools online available to create that hypnotic spell, you will find it easy to flit from forums to blogs to sales pages, and maybe even to third-party vendors like eBay. You will build the confidence you need that you know what works and when and what's the appropriate time to use one strategy over another to make a sale. You will have learned that it isn't difficult to engage people online. It just takes a bit more skill since you are not face-to-face with your potential buyers. But once you have those skills, they can be used all over the internet to help you gather customers and sales from all over the globe.